Hey, and welcome to The Sync, everybody. This is episode 7 for December 7th. Or we're on December 7th. I don't know what day it's actually coming out. My name is Fred, and as always, I got these two.
Steve's here.
Skyler.
Sadly, I've got these two.
I just want to point out real quick before we move on, your intro phrase really sucks.
My name?
No, Fred's got his thing. I say Steve's here.
He says his name.
You say your spiel, I say Steve's here. He needs a better intro.
Hi guys, it's Skyler here from the Sync Podcast, and we're gonna have fun tonight. Better?
God,
a little over-exaggerated, but otherwise, yeah, pretty good.
Because apparently we're a 90s sitcom where everyone has to introduce themselves in a hype manner.
Oh my god, we have to get theme music for each of us.
Can it
That's
be like
let's do
a
it.
stupid guitar riff like Seinfeld?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Like, let's get... You know what? We'll talk to the guy we know with a guitar.
Let's do it.
The one
We'll
guy.
get that. We all know the guy. I'm not going to say his name. All right, so PlayStation Experience happened last week.
PlayStation E3.
PlayStation E3. Really, there was nothing much to it this year. So PSX is kind of their celebratory thing. Hey, look, we're PlayStation. Everyone loves us. And this year was kind of a weak one. I mean, we saw a handful of impressive things, but we got no real solid information on most everything they showed off.
Yeah, I mean,
Here's one of the big titles that they pointed out was the new Crash Bandicoot.
no, I'm happy, but I don't have a PlayStation.
Or what was it?
so-
What was this? The Crash Bandicoot? It's the remake of the first three games, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the Insane Trilogy, which is the first three games remastered. And looking at the trailer, it's literally just a reskin. Like, it's the exact same gameplay, just with prettier effects.
Well,
going
they've
on.
redone the models and the animations. I mean,
No, they haven't.
No, they haven't. They've
Like,
just
it's
reskinned
exactly
it.
the same, which is okay. I mean, it brings the classic games back and kind of makes them playable for modern audiences. It just seems a little weak considering they made this big tease about it at E3 and now they finally announced it and it was like, oh, okay, cool.
it is
Sure, I
kind
may
of
pick it up.
I guess it is kind of the equivalent of a E-title coming to the 3DS.
Yeah. What?
Well, like electronic titles, when it's like, oh hey, Legend of Zelda is on 3DS now. Go get the original for $5.
Oh, yeah, it's kind of like that.
The Destiny of the Dawning got announced. We'll be jumping into that a little bit later. I assume either later today or next week.
Yeah, the big announcements were the first, really kind of bookended the conference on the 3rd. I know they had, like, the 3rd and 4th was the whole conference, but all the big announcements were on the 3rd.
I'm getting to what we're talking about. I'm just kind of going through slowly.
The big one, Uncharted, The Lost Legacy.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I was surprised to see an Uncharted title. I kind of thought they were going to end it with 4.
You mean 5? 4's out.
4's out, yeah.
4 was the last one.
Right, that's what I mean. I thought that was going to be the last one. With
Oh, I
Nathan.
thought you meant they were going to announce another numbered one.
There it
I
is.
get it's the last of the Nathan Drake ones was 4. Or that's what we're being led to believe now. It's interesting. I almost kind of wish that they'd taken the Uncharted name off of it.
Why?
Let it be same universe but new character, new story.
Yeah, I think Uncharted is more just to let people know that it is the same universe. I do agree if they could have gotten a little more clever with it, but I like that we're following different characters. I like that we're following Chloe, who I really liked in Uncharted 2.
She was a good character. I don't know if I liked her, to be honest. They did a good job of making you have a love-hate relationship with that character.
I thought she was a very well-developed character when she really could have been very one-dimensional in that game and still gotten away with what she was doing.
Oh, that's a good point. I mean, Uncharted has good characters.
Yeah, I liked her. And the setting is interesting, putting it in India. I imagine being Uncharted, we're going to go all over the globe. But
Nope, we're going just over India.
just India. That's
Just
it.
India,
That
that's all you
one
get.
town. That's it.
Yep, you just get the one shanty town. That's it. That's all you get.
The entire actual demo, that was the game. It ends on that roof.
Oh, really? So it's like a little demo. I don't fucking know. You guys have lost me. All right. It looks good. Like most things at this conference, there wasn't any info.
Yeah, I mean isn't that kind of a lot of conferences now though?
No. I mean, looking back at E3, Sony again failed to give us a lot of info. They announced a lot of things and said, hey, look at this cool project. And then we're like, okay, cool. When's it coming? When can we see it? I don't know. Sometime.
It'll be here. It gets here when it gets here, okay?
It's being made.
Just cool your jets, man. Cool the jets.
Maybe I am just thinking of Sony, because I do remember the thing that I liked about the Microsoft conference is almost everything except for Scorpio had a date, or at least a window.
Yeah, and we had solid information, either actual gameplay and not staged whatever Uncharted was showing off. You all right there?
Are you breaking things over there again?
Of course I am.
Why are you moving around? What are you doing?
My butt hurts.
So,
And that's on audio recorded now. To cut and do with what you please.
yeah, make it your ringtone. My butt hurts.
My butt hurts.
That would be an awesome ringtone.
My butt hurts. Who the hell is calling you? Don't ask, you're not ready.
So, yeah, the little demo they showed was... They put a lot of effort to make that seem like gameplay. But if that was actual gameplay from the game, that looked really boring as a game. If it wasn't gameplay and was meant to just be a cool introduction, fine, but why'd you go through the effort of making it look like gameplay?
Well, Uncharted, though, is known for having very cinematic set pieces. I mean, I could easily see that being a segment of gameplay between two open areas.
Well, the cool thing about Uncharted is the gameplay is mixed into those cinematic set pieces. So, like in Uncharted 4, when you're in the pirate town that you've been looking for, the whole place is crumbling around you. You're still in control. You're still running forward and still having to jump and make climbs and do all that. This was just walking. And maybe they're going for a more stealth approach this time around.
Well,
I guess.
But remember, Uncharted 4 also had that bazaar scene where you're going through the markets.
Oh, that is true. So maybe this is a scene kind of like that. It's a lot of action going on for that kind of scene, but maybe that's something they're experimenting with.
All right, now here's a question from those of us. I've never played any of the Uncharted games. It's sad, seeing as how I own the PlayStation 4. Sorry, Fred, you're not going to be able to see me.
That's fine.
But I've never played an Uncharted game, which everybody shuns me for. Do you think this is going to be something I'll be able to pick up and have some kind of idea of what's going on, or you think I'll be completely lost?
From what we've been shown, you'll probably be lost if you haven't at least played Uncharted 2.
I could see it splitting either way. Either it's going to be heavily related to Uncharted 2 because it's a returning character who was a big character in 2, or because it's not Nathan Drake and you don't have all of his backlog now, it could be a fresh point to jump in at.
Yeah, I guess they could go either way. And actually, wasn't she in 3 at one point? I didn't enjoy 3, so I didn't play a lot of it.
I think at 3 she's mentioned, or they at least say it's like, here's why she's not in 3 now.
Oh. I didn't know if she had actually made an appearance in 3, but...
I think you might run into her for a few minutes. I'm trying to remember.
Here, I can check.
It's been a while since I played 3.
To answer your question, Steve, I don't know.
It was just a general, what do you think kind of a thing, an assumption of what do you think is going up Naughty Dog's sleeve.
I think they're going to try and find a way to make this a new entry for people. Maybe people who didn't enjoy Nathan Drake's being in Uncharted.
What was her name? Chloe?
Chloe. I don't know her last name.
Chloe Fraser. Frazer. Yes, she does make an appearance. She is in Uncharted 3.
Oh, wait. She is, because there's that awkward scene where her and the main girl, Elena, meet for like a moment.
I thought that was in 2.
No, that was in 3. I just looked it up.
Yeah, that was in 3, because I can remember the scene now. They're like on a bus or something. There's a moment where they like meet and it's awkward.
Oh, okay.
I'm on a boat.
Yeah, that was so they started off with that, and they do the thing. I hate this. I absolutely hate this. They start showing just footage of something. Like, they start their conference, no introduction, they just start showing something and expect people to be excited. And it's like, well, I don't know what this is. I don't even know why I should be excited. The first 30 seconds of the trailer for Uncharted made me think it was Beyond Good and Evil 2, and that's probably why I'm so pissed at it right now.
Maybe, I mean, I'm okay with a trailer starting out with just footage and no explanation of what it is, because having a reveal in a trailer is cool. I mean, it makes the trailer fun to watch.
Well, for the trailer, but not for the whole presentation.
Yeah, I agree. World reveals, you can get away with that, but
Well, this was a world reveal.
Yeah, this was a world reveal.
but from what I saw, from what I'm gathering from what you guys are talking about, there was no other presentation after this. It was, oh look, here's Uncharted. Okay, we're done.
The only thing afterwards was, oh, look, cool, looks exciting, and there will be more information at the Naughty Dog panel that they're holding the next day.
Right. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's how they opened the conference, though. I mean, it was just
Yeah.
straight into that trailer. Like, no, the conference has begun. It's just the trailer starts.
Yeah, it just kind of kicked off.
That made it awkward just because you're kind of wondering at one point, is like, is this going to, like, at some point, is the wall going to fall down and it's PSX?
Oh, yeah.
You don't know that it's a game trailer yet. Almost.
Sure.
Even though it's obviously a game.
I think I'm just a little sour that it wasn't Beyond Good and Evil 2.
I think I'm just a little sour that it wasn't Tom Clancy.
It did look like Tom Clancy.
I thought it was going to be a new Ghost Recon for a little bit.
Well, we've already got a new Ghost Recon coming. You mean Splinter Cell?
That one, yeah.
Splinter Cell. Splinter Cell.
Yeah, I know my Tom Clancy games. Totally. I've played them all. Shut up.
Anybody
So-
remember Rainbow Six? The first one?
The first Rainbow Six?
Yeah.
Or the one that everyone thinks is the first Rainbow Six? So, yeah, the next big one was The Last of Us 2. One that I am genuinely excited for.
I really want to go back and play Last of Us. I think the farthest I've gotten was the death of Joel, his daughter.
What? Oh, Joel's daughter.
Joel's daughter? Yeah,
The
Joel's
death
daughter.
of Joel, the daughter. Wait, what?
Joel's daughter. Yeah, I've gotten that far. Joel's daughter dies, and then my PS3, the HDMI started going. No, the Blu-ray drive started going out on it.
Well, so, yeah, you got about 10 minutes in.
Yeah, I got 10 minutes. Drugs. I do hardcore drugs.
Yeah,
No,
the
when she's where he's he gets. What did she get her, like a birthday present or something? That very beginning.
yeah. Oh, it was a beautiful little scene.
I love that.
The opening 10 minutes of that game was
Where'd you get the money for this? Drugs. I sell hardcore drugs.
that whole opening was just one of the most beautiful things I've seen in a video game.
Oh, I mean,
And how it escalated into the whole conflict, and then that final moment of her getting shot down was just,
undoubtedly, Uncharted probably has some of the best cinematic gameplay. Why am I saying that? Because they're also Naughty Dog, damn it. Last of Us has some of the best cinematic gameplay, maybe only rivaled by Uncharted.
I would say The Last of Us beats it. Well, I don't know. I guess it's kind of two different. It's almost two different films you're watching when you play these games.
It's like trying to compare Indiana Jones to, well, The Road. I mean, it's what
Yeah.
they're based on.
I'm really proud of you for throwing out The Road.
It's a good movie.
It is a fantastic movie. An even better book.
I've not read the book, so you
Read
can
the
shun me
book.
for that.
You haven't read the book. I haven't seen the movie, but I've read the book.
Cormac McCarthy is one of the best writers. Anyway,
He's up there.
But, I mean, I'm definitely excited for it. We're getting to the point where I might actually look at picking up a PS4. There's a decent number of games on it now that I want to play.
there's a lot of good ones.
PS4 is definitely worth picking up. I'm not going to say that it's not. I don't remember the last time I've touched mine and turned it on, but because of some of the big, A-list titles, it's definitely worth picking up.
Well, that's why I haven't picked one up yet. Is for me, the content just wasn't there yet for me to go ahead and spend that money.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for there to be enough of a backlog that I can say, okay, now I'm going to go play these. I mean, that's what I did with the PlayStation 3. I think, ironically enough, I picked up my PlayStation 3 about the time that the first Last of Us came out, then went back and played all the Uncharted, all the Ratchet and Clank games that came out on it, all like the PlayStation 3 titles that I knew I wanted to play, but now we're all cheap and easier to get a hold of.
Yeah, it's definitely worth looking at getting a PS4. I play my PS4 just for the exclusives
Yeah.
and a handful of other titles here and there.
I'm kind of in the same boat. I mean, that's all I play on mine really is Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts.
Well,
And The Last of Us now.
Yeah, definitely going to have to pick up The Last of Us because
oh, phenomenal.
I get yelled at for saying that I've never played it.
As you should. I mean, it's one of my favorite games ever.
You know
I
what?
just
Dude, I won't.
absolutely
I mean,
love it.
you're not a bad person for not having played it, but you're kind of a bad person for not having played it.
Are you speaking of yourself as well?
No, I played Last of Us.
Wait, you've played it?
The first one?
Yeah.
Yes.
How?
I have a PS3.
He
Oh, yeah,
literally- he just got done talking about that, Fred.
I'm
I
sorry.
got a PlayStation 3 about the time that game came out.
I'm sorry. I should have picked up on that and I didn't. I'm sorry.
Plus one sin.
Okay, so Last of Us. It looks like it's definitely a few years later. I think in an interview afterwards, they said that Ellie's now 19.
So it's
Which-
obviously a few years later, if that's the case.
Yeah, which I think she was like 16 or something in the first game.
She might have even been 15. I mean, she was like one of the like angsty parts of the game was like she was just hitting like emotional level age.
Yeah. You know what? She might have been like 13, 14, actually. So yeah, it's cool to see Ellie in a more, less of a, well, I guess in the first game she was very rebellious, but she wasn't brutal.
Yeah.
She was still a kid. And now it's interesting seeing her in this role of, I want to kill all of them.
Well, I mean, we've seen a lot of shows starting to tackle the idea, but we've yet to see one get to the point where a lot of shows really are kind of introducing the how would a kid grow up in the apocalypse? I mean, the Walking Dead games with Clementine, the Walking Dead TV show.
The show with Carl.
Right.
Yeah.
But none of them yet have reached the age where they're growing up enough to really see what would a kid who's growing up in this world actually become.
Yeah.
That's going to be cool. That's going to be some interesting ground.
And I like that they call it part 2. They said they're calling it part 2 because this is a direct continuation of their story, which I don't know if y'all remember. Oh, Steve hasn't played it. Probably shouldn't spoil the game for him.
Yeah, don't spoil anything.
We're
I'm
not going
kinda...
to spoil the
but-
ending, which is very controversial. You either hate it or you love it ending.
And I love it. I love it because I knew that it's something that could be picked up in a part 2 and used to great effect.
Yeah, it's...
And it looks like that's what
I
they're
like
trying
it
to
and
do.
dislike it for different reasons.
I
But
absolutely loved it.
I
thought it was
won't get
beautiful.
into those because anyone who hasn't played it that's listening needs to go play it. And if you have played it, then you already know.
Then you already know what we're talking about. I just think thematically it was a perfect ending to that game. I felt satisfied. There's not many games where I'll finish a story and feel like, okay, I did all that. I'm good. I'm happy with that story.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen often in games.
I do want to point out while we're on The Last of Us, because this was something that PlayStation always does it with their presentations, and I hate it. During the trailer, they include the audio of the people listening.
Yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and dive into this fucking thing.
It's just, I liked the trailer. I thought it was a good trailer, but every time people start cheering, it takes me out of the trailer, and I'm left wondering. It's like, yeah, I get it. It's Last of Us. We know that now. You're cheering for lips. You're cheering for a guy in the door. Okay, you're cheering because she tuned a guitar.
I think it's more of a symptom of the general problems with this conference. It just seemed so half-assed, and it seemed like they planned it the day before they did it.
I did not see that got announced.
Oh, that was announced at E3, I think.
Was
Or
it?
Even earlier.
Oh, man,
You know,
I
Putin
feel
too.
bad for anyone who decides to play it because those games are long and take forever to go anywhere.
The Ni no Kuni?
Yeah, or the first one did at least.
The first one's long, but I've heard it's beautiful. I haven't played it. I've heard it's a beautiful game and really cool story.
I heard, from what I've heard, because I have not played it, I've only seen stuff on it, and as someone who loves to watch playthroughs of games, it was the point where it was so slow that I fell out of watching the playthrough, which is usually
Oh, wow.
much faster than playing the game. It has the Final Fantasy issue of once you're 100 hours in, the game really opens up and gets good.
Welcome to
Yeah.
every JRPG in existence.
I also don't play a lot of JRPGs.
Say that's
Well,
a-
and there's not every JRPG is that way. There's some of them that throw you right into the story and get you going.
I mean, I know it's one of the few JRPGs that I've played, which is why I always go to it. Xenoblade does a great job of right from the beginning of the game, you're engaged in the story, and they just manage to keep escalating the story so that it's a different game by the end.
Yeah, and even I haven't played all of Final Fantasy VII, but I do know the opening, and it kicks off pretty hard.
Yes,
I mean,
it does.
Get you going.
7 kicks off hard. 10 kicks off hard.
Yeah, so,
13, from what I've heard, is very slow and linear.
well, 13 was the one that most people make fun of JRPGs about,
Um,
promising open world after 60 hours of gameplay.
Well, I know the closest I've gotten to actually going like into a Final Fantasy, I remember I borrowed a friend's copy of Kingdom Hearts, played it for about 6 or 7 hours, and only then got to the point where I was getting off that first island.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Now,
No, that's not even right. I mean, I got off the first island in just a couple hours.
I don't know. I also did a bit of exploring on that one, but I mean, it's like I hadn't even started the game after a couple hours in.
Oh.
Yeah, once you get that island is your tutorial level. So once you get off that island, that's when you get into the game. And even then, there's still things they're teaching you throughout that second world.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the way that games handle tutorials. JRPGs, I think, do it. I mean, there's so much there that you kind of have to have a protracted area, but I feel like it could be done better.
Yeah, this whole PSX was kind of weird in that they showed a lot of Japanese titles that the Japanese audience absolutely loves, and I know there's an audience for it here as well.
I think Steve wants to talk about Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah, why did nobody mention this? This is one of the bigger fighting franchises out there.
It wasn't big to me, so maybe I didn't pick up on it.
I don't care for Marvel vs. Capcom.
This is one of the bigger
It's pretty popular.
fighting franchises out there right now, and it's kind of nifty to see that they're doing another one.
Well, it's been off the radar for a while. The last one, 3, came out in like 2011.
Well, which version of 3? Hold on. There were that was the problem I had with Marvel vs. Capcom is they had 3 different versions of Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
I don't know.
There was 3 Superstar. I don't. Yeah,
Well,
there were so many different ones.
The problem is they decided to do their Game of the Year edition with all DLC every time they released a new DLC.
Well, that's just Capcom in general. They do a lot of that. Well, they do a lot of that with their fighting games anyway. But yeah, they showed off a lot of Japanese games that I didn't think were very relevant for the Western audience. Like games like Ys Origin. Ys was an old PS1, PS2 era RPG, but
I guess, but hasn't one of Sony's like big selling points to a lot of their fan base been that they bring the Eastern games over to the West?
yeah, but they don't give a heavy focus. Well, I guess this is their chance to give a heavy focus on that since they don't do it at the major conferences like E3.
I mean,
There was
they
a lot
were-
of those announcements I just felt like they should have had at like Tokyo Game Show.
Maybe, but I mean, remember, they also were the original reason why Final Fantasy really came overseas.
I thought that was Nintendo because the first ones were on NES.
yeah,
They were, but I think like the reason why it like started like catching up wasn't it because PlayStation? Because I know for a while it was only on PlayStation.
No, I think the first one on PlayStation was
the first one on PlayStation was 7.
6
Was
or
it?
7,
7
8, and 9 were on PS1. 10 was on
Oh.
PS2. 11 was PS2 MMO.
So
12 was PS2. 13 was the first one to break that console barrier.
Well, I guess this just proves that I really know nothing about Final Fantasy.
Yep.
Uh,
Where was I looking at?
I don't know.
So, well, Steve figures out what he's doing. Yeah, there was a lot of Japanesey games, so more than I expected to see at this kind of event.
Mother Russia Bleeds.
I think that's a beat 'em up game,
No,
isn't it?
Mother Russia Bleeds. Oh, that one
it?
is. I'm
Yeah,
thinking
it's a
of.
side-scrolling beat 'em up.
I'm thinking of another one.
Next Machina?
No, it's about Russia. I don't remember what it's called now.
But yeah, it was interesting. I mean,
The whole thing was just terrible. It really wasn't very good.
I feel like it's almost them trying to get their own E3 hype. No, I mean that's exactly what it is. It's PSE3.
Yeah, and with them following the Game Awards, which was a very clean, well-presented show, this just felt like they're like, oh shit, we need to do that too. Get it set up for tomorrow.
I guess. I mean,
the I can't even remember names right now. But the main guy who came out first, he had so much trouble talking. Like he screwed up almost every sentence he had to say reading from the teleprompter. It seemed like they didn't have any rehearsal for it.
yeah. I mean that is a big thing. A lot of people will argue that the game speaks for itself, but the person.
But when you
speaking
have a
about the
person
game-
up there giving a speech,
yeah.
he's got to be able to present it, and he normally does. At E3, he does a great job, and I can't remember his name, and it frustrates me that I can't.
Well, I'll admit, that's something that I don't like about like Nintendo's presentations, and I get why they do it, but they always want to have the developer or someone like who's big up on the development team be the one talking and presenting.
yeah,
But the way that they handle it being in a Western market, because that person either doesn't speak English or they just are reading English off a teleprompter with no clue what they're saying, and so it sounds very bad.
yeah,
is the presentation usually winds up being 5 minutes of someone saying something you don't understand and the person next to them repeating it.
Yeah, this wasn't that issue. This was just, he speaks English perfectly fine. He just was failing to read the teleprompter. And it just seemed like there was no rehearsal there. It just felt like a very half-assed show, especially given that it followed something as organized as the Game Awards. So yeah, the whole thing felt weak. And that paid-for audience. You were wanting to talk about it. I think I kind of took that away from you for a moment, but...
I've never liked it in presentations, and I know Sony has a tendency to do it. They did it at E3.
Yeah. So...
I don't like it because it...
Crowd hype. You have to have a hype man.
But if there's no crowd around me, it takes me away. Like, I was hyping myself for Last of Us, and every time I heard a scream, I'm like, woo, car. I was excited because I was like, is this Last of Us? And then everyone else was car.
See, and that's the problem. You're looking at it as, ooh, look, they're hyping a car. No, the symbol means something. I know that much.
Oh, well.
That symbol on the stop sign means something. They see a girl. By that point, you know who it is. So you're physically looking at, oh, that's what they're hyping at. No, they're hyping the fact that that's what they're seeing.
I get that, but at the same time, it kind of takes it out because you almost want to feel like that you discovered it. When everyone else starts cheering, like, all right.
Well,
it's not a personal experience that I'm enjoying.
In most cases in a conference, they cut the mic on the audience when they go to a trailer.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. If I was in the crowd, I'd probably be cheering with them. But I just don't like that in a video that I'm watching in a quiet room.
Well, so there are different types of paid-for audiences, and everyone does get them. You'll hear them at every conference, everywhere. But there are good ones and there are bad ones, and they had really bad ones.
I mean, where they started cheering before the thing started to show?
Yeah, they would have cheering beforehand because they knew what was coming up. They kept yelling out whoever was walking out. They would just yell, "We love you! We love you!" It was the most ridiculous thing. And you could tell the presenters were even like, all right, chill out, guys. We get it. Chill out. Again,
Too much hype. Too much hype, guys.
Again, it just leads back to it felt half-assed. They just like, hire some people who might get excited for us. Pay them $20 an hour.
I don't know. I'm glad to see stuff. But all in all, I don't know.
I think I would actually be more excited for some of the stuff they showed off if they had just released the trailer. Said, hey, look, here's the trailer. Not do a big conference like that. Just say, hey, yeah, here it is.
Maybe
cool.
When you hear conference, you're expecting a little more.
I expect quality at least.
Well, I guess it'd be, just to bring it to something else that we all like, it'd be like the Guardians trailer. We all love the freaking Guardians trailer for the new Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
And that just came out of nowhere. No big fanfare. And now it's the best thing ever.
Groot.
I am Groot.
I am Groot.
No! That's the one that kills everybody.
Try it again. I am Groot.
Okay.
I am Groot.
Okay.
I am Groot.
No!
I'm just going to let him do this.
It's a good trailer. It's a funny trailer.
Baby Groot is the best. He
That's
throws
staying
a
in. You're
temper
not
tantrum.
cutting this. I don't care if we get taken down for copyright infringement.
Well, seeing as how I'm saying it the same words, but I'm not saying exactly like it.
No, see, he's saying different words. They just happen to be I and am and Groot.
Everyone's loving this conversation right now.
Where were you going with the Guardians trailer?
I was just saying, it's like we all are very hyped for that, and we didn't need a hype crowd to get hyped for it.
Right. Well, yeah, they dropped it and said, here it is, enjoy. And everyone did.
Right. Imagine if when Groot like points at the button and Rocket goes no, a laugh can just goes off and you're ah, ha, 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 in the background.
I don't know why, I just immediately thought IT crowd.
But I mean, it's like it's the difference between seeing like a trailer for something that seems epic and feeling like you're on a sitcom.
Yeah, it takes you out of the moment and kills the tension and the dramatic reveal that they built with the trailer. Yeah. All right, so we've harped on, I think, about...
Should we switch over to Microsoft so I can talk about one thing I went to real fast?
Sure, talk about Microsoft.
So I know you guys haven't gotten a chance to play Dead Rising 4 yet. I managed to get it installed even though it took forever last night and played a couple hours. I just want to bring up the intro to the game. They know that at this point, their story no one's going to take seriously. They're not dramatic. The characters, you like them, but it's not an epic care for them. They go through their tutorial area, and then all of the exposition for the game is given in about a 60-second just animated, here's what happened. They're zombies now. You get it. We're playing the game. Have fun.
I actually did watch that animated bit. So I haven't played the game yet, but I did watch the animated bit.
That's all the exposition there is.
I love that little animation thing. I think that was really well done.
Oh, it's just
That was pretty cool.
for like all the other games when going back to even like Dead Rising 1 just to keep it in that franchise, you probably play for 30 minutes before the first character says zombies and everyone is surprised that they're zombies. You don't need that exposition in a video game.
No.
I really like that they just go ahead, get all of the exposition out of the way for Dead Rising, and then just let you get into the game and have fun with it. It's a good job of the developers realizing what their game is. It's, like I said, you're not going to be that seriously invested in the plot. It's not like you're going to be on edge wondering what's going to happen next. You're really just waiting for the next punchline about mini golf.
Right. It's actually really interesting. There's been a few games that have done that recently. Doom came to mind as soon as you said that. It's like, oh, all the exposition is like the first 30 seconds, and the rest of it you don't have to care.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why I like Sunset Overdrive so much. Is it's just get in, have fun, keep going.
Well, Sunset Overdrive kind of gives you more as you go along.
It does. It's not as perfect an example, but
Yeah, Doom. I loved Doom's opening because it has, you get out of the coffin and you put your armor on. There's a screen and this voice is telling you things. It's starting to ramble on about the story, and your character grabs the screen, throws it to the side. It's like, yes, that's what I wanted from Doom. I don't care about your fucking story. I want to go shoot things. Oh, but if you do want that, there's an audio log in like the next room, I think.
Yeah.
So it says, hey, if you want this, boom, there it is for you.
And Dead Rising does a good job of that from what I've seen so far because there's all kinds of collectibles.
Yeah.
But all the collectibles unlock more side story.
Oh,
So like
okay.
newspapers that start to tell you like how things got to where they are. Actually, ironically enough, podcasts are now a thing in this game.
That's awesome. Is ours in there? Did it make the cut?
Not yet.
No?
I haven't found it.
It probably didn't make the cut.
It's going to be in like the late game areas because of how good it is.
Yeah.
Uh,
Sorry, I couldn't help it.
but that was my whole spiel. I haven't had a ton of time to play with Dead Rising.
Well, when you get more time, I want to talk to you about it because I'm really interested in the game. I've been wanting to play it, but I've been hearing some pretty mixed things from longtime Dead Rising fans and from newcomers alike. So I'd like to hear
Everything
your
I was
side.
worried about so far, like my biggest thing is I actually was a big proponent for the time limit because not many games have it, and I thought it was a cool feature.
Yeah.
Within 5 seconds of getting into the mall, didn't care.
Really? Okay.
I found a penguin mask. I'm now able to breathe ice onto zombies and freeze them. I found a Segway, which they're not allowed to call a Segway because of copyright reasons.
Yeah.
But I probably spent a good 10, 15 minutes just driving over zombies in a Segway.
Well, that's what I've heard, that the game is actually really easy. You're not far enough to say for sure, I guess, but
Yeah, I mean, I never thought of Dead Rising as being hard, aside from just meeting the time limit, maybe.
Really? I don't know. I thought Dead Rising 3... So my experience is I've played Dead Rising 3, and that's about it.
We played
Dead
Dead Rising
3
3 together. Neither of us ever died.
That's not true. I went down a couple times.
Did you?
But it had that revive feature, so you just brought me back.
Okay. I was going to say, I don't remember either of us ever dying. But
I don't think we
might have
ever-
brought each other back.
I don't think we ever fully died, but I definitely went down a couple times. And it wasn't that it was super difficult, and I think we were playing on just the medium difficulty anyway. But there was a tension in there that, oh shit, I am actually surrounded by way too many zombies right now.
I've come close to dying. The big difference is I've always been able to heal up and get away.
Yeah, and I guess that's another new thing, is he just auto heals now?
There's a perk for it, but you have to unlock it, and it's only out of combat until you get to like upper levels.
Oh, okay. So it's not just a constantly regenerating health. Like,
no, it's still
everything
pretty
else?
much if you want to get health back, you need to find food.
Okay, that actually is really cool because that's one of my favorite mechanics of Dead Rising,
That used to be a lot bigger in games, eat to get health back.
or the med packs, or yeah.
I mean, just going back to like dungeon crawlers. I'm sure
Gauntlet, Dark Legacy, PS2.
Yeah. Warrior need food badly.
I loved Gauntlet, Dark Legacy.
I always think Halo.
Med
Med
pack.
packs, yeah. It's a dying gameplay feature.
It shouldn't be though. I think we're gonna see a renaissance. This is no evidence to support this, but I hope there's a renaissance of that gameplay mechanic coming back
We're calling it right now.
because it can turn a game into such a thrilling experience.
When you're hanging on by just 1% health.
Yeah, it can make every enemy, even the dumbest enemies in the game, can be a threat, and that's awesome. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a cool experience.
Yeah.
I mean, you know me, I'm a glutton for punishment.
Yeah.
Except for where Dark Souls is concerned. I hate that game.
Oh yeah, I knew you wanted to talk about that.
I want to talk about it for different reasons, but I want to draw the line. I'm a glutton for punishment.
Oh,
Dark Souls is
the
not
limit.
where I go.
You know,
No.
I have tried Dark Souls. I've tried it on multiple occasions. Dark Souls 1 and 2. And I even tried Demon Souls back when that was still big.
I think I've played Demon Souls. I don't really know.
That is just not a game for me. I am an absolute moron.
Have you ever tried it?
Yeah.
It's a phenomenal game. Tons of people love it. They've done something right. My whole complaint is I never feel like my character does what I want my character to do, and that's why I feel like I fail more than just like not understanding the tells. I feel like it's hard to execute what you really want to do.
The controls are pretty clunky.
But maybe that's part of the game. Maybe that's supposed to be like the point of the game.
Well, clunkiness is like a false sense of difficulty. It's a difficulty that you have zero control over. It just is. I don't like that. What I've always liked about Dark Souls and why I keep trying to get into it, why I want to get into it, is because the difficulty is learnable. It's a super steep learning curve, but there is a curve there. When it's just the controls are an issue, there's no learning curve. You can't learn and be better at that. The controls just suck.
Yeah, I mean I've seen many a game get killed by their controls.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's for those that do like it though. Kind of what I think you were getting at was a bit of news this week regarding it.
Yes.
It leaked. I want to say it was. I don't remember what day. I heard about it earlier today. A little bit of marketing stuff fell out, and Dark Souls, the entire trilogy, looks to be coming to the Switch.
Now, is it like a compilation thing? I didn't see anything about this. So
The article I read said that the first game is somewhat semi-guaranteed for the Switch, and the other two games will follow based on how well it does.
Okay.
But I mean, it's just considering how much we've been concerned about third-party support for the Switch. I just keep seeing more and more like iconic titles signing up for it, which I think is a good thing. I'm really thinking that the Switch could be Nintendo's their life raft.
It could be the chance for them to turn around their mistakes that they've been making with the Wii U.
Are you going to go into the one that they're going to make with the Switch? Apparently,
What?
the digital titles, you still have to pay to upgrade. So if you own the digital title, you have to buy it again.
Huh?
On the Switch.
Well, oh, from Wii U?
Yeah, your digital library on the Wii and the Wii U and all
I
that
did not hear
does
that.
not carry up to the Switch based on what we know right now.
Really?
Oh, so it's not a confirmed, it's just kind of what, as far as we know?
I think it was Eurogamer was the one posting about this.
Okay.
But from what the information that they were providing, it sounds like similar to the Wii U. If you own the previous copy, then to upgrade it to the Switch version, you're going to have to pay like a couple dollars to get the new version.
Oh, okay. I don't like that. That is kind of disappointing to hear. I was hoping, at least for the people who did adopt the Wii U, those poor souls, they can take their games, at least what games will be going forward, they can take them forward.
Yeah, I mean, I get why Nintendo does it, because technically, yes, just because it runs on the Wii U does not mean it will run on the Switch. There is work involved in making it go to the Switch. But at the same time, that work should be funded by the Switch and Nintendo, not the people who already bought the games.
Well, and I don't think it should happen to every title, only the titles that plan to go to the Switch. Like, if you bought,
Legend of Zelda.
say, the new Legend of Zelda on Wii U, you should be able to get the Switch version.
Oh, yeah, I was talking more like their digital library of like re-releases.
Oh, like the Virtual Console.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like buying a digital game on their system.
Now I don't know. Because I think I don't remember if Eurogamer referred to it as the Virtual Console or digital copies.
Although, I say that, I'm now remembering, I think PlayStation and Xbox both had a little fee. Like you had to pay $5 and you could.
At
if you-
first, but that was for digital titles. I mean,
Yeah, which
right
is what we're
now
talking.
with like backwards compatibility, any digital game you own that's backwards compatible, you can play.
Right, but I meant when the Xbox One and PS4 first launched, if you bought, say, Black Flag on the 360, you could pay, I think, $5 to upgrade to the Xbox One version. Now that I'm
I do
remembering
remember that.
But still, I was unhappy with that idea as well.
Yeah, I mean it's them trying to ink out a little bit more money. What Steve is now pulling up is Eurogamer also showed that a lot of stuff got leaked. GameCube finally coming to the Virtual Console.
Rumored, everything is still rumored until a confirmation.
I mean, fair enough, but Eurogamer tends to have a pretty good source from what I've seen.
Oh yeah, and it's not just Eurogamer, but a lot of people have seen that. I don't know if it came straight from Eurogamer though.
Eurogamer is what I've been seeing cited as the source for a lot of it.
Oh, okay.
What I've been
well, maybe then. Maybe
the
so.
articles I saw surrounding this, because the games that got leaked for GameCube Virtual Console were Luigi's Mansion, Smash Melee, Animal Crossing, the original one, strangely enough, and
Super Smash Brothers, you said?
Yeah.
Super Mario Sunshine was the other one.
Oh, Mario Sunshine, right.
All fantastic games I would love to play again. I would happily buy those on a virtual console.
You also made mention earlier of Pikmin 1 and 2.
There was some rumors of Pikmin 1 and 2, though I don't remember where I read that. That one I don't know if I got off Eurogamer.
Okay.
I don't think that one was on Eurogamer.
Still, though, that's a good move. If that's true, they absolutely need to do that for the Switch. One, it's going to be powerful enough. They can do it.
Yeah, I mean,
Just do it.
I'm a little sad that doesn't mean we're getting an HD remake of Sunshine like some people thought we were.
Why?
They probably, well, would they really throw it on Virtual Console right before remaking it?
No,
Yes.
but why do people want an HD remake of it? Why not just
Because
enjoy
it's a
the
beautiful
game?
game.
Yeah, but it's still a beautiful game, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's not an HD. It's like looking at a fuzzy. It's like going back to a CRT TV, even though something was beautiful before.
I don't think it's quite that extreme. It was the GameCube.
Most powerful console of its time.
So you claim. I don't know the specs. I'm just bullshitting you, but no, there's no way. GameCube, the most powerful system of the time.
Compared to PS2 and Xbox, no, GameCube was not powerful compared to those two.
I think PlayStation 2 counts as a GameCube competitor. I think Xbox was too late to be considered a GameCube competitor in the
It's
market.
still compared.
It was the same generation.
It's the same generation.
But GameCube, I want to say, was out for a while before the Xbox.
PS2 and GameCube came out in the same year. Xbox came out a year later.
Did it really?
Yep. I just watched a documentary that showed the timeline of everything coming
I'll
out.
trust you because we all know I'm an idiot when it comes to remembering.
I do know PS2 was 2000, and Xbox One, of course, Xbox was 2001. I don't know about GameCube. I don't remember when that came out, but yeah, they definitely need that on the Switch. I think it's a good next step.
I'm excited for it. I want more information, which sadly Nintendo still is not giving.
It's funny because it seems like every week we talk about the Switch for at least a brief period, and yet we still don't have any more information.
Because something else leaks about the Switch. I mean, it is a big topic when you consider it's supposed to be out spring of 2017.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Okay. GameCube and Xbox came out the same year. PlayStation came out the year before. I knew one of them came out before the other two.
For some reason, I just don't remember the Xbox coming out that early. But then again, I also didn't get an Xbox until late in its life cycle.
GameCube was November 18th, 2001.
I mean, they were both 2001.
Oh, wait. Did I say I didn't get a GameCube until late in the life cycle? I didn't get an Xbox till late in the life cycle.
Yeah, so and Xbox came out 3 days before.
Okay. Well, I know when I got it, the joke that I kept hearing is most powerful console of its generation.
It was probably just the joke because it wasn't, I would guess.
It was a pretty powerful console.
Not really.
Me just shitting on
Yep. And
Nintendo right now.
PlayStation 2
Pikmin
was
was one of the
March
more
4th.
intensive games, if I remember correctly, in terms of
October
power required.
26th in North America.
It was a lot of high res. It was a lot of high res textures on a lot of small polygons
Well, high res in it's probably
back then.
480
Maybe
480 textures
trying
or
to
something.
think. I mean, that's back when you had where stuff was like more textured than colored.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm glad to see the games return. They're some of my favorite games. They're the games I grew up on.
I am happy to hear about GameCube coming back. As much as I shit on Nintendo, I do love the GameCube, and some of my favorite games ever have been on GameCube.
I will buy Luigi's Mansion every time they re-release it.
I will buy Melee every time.
I put many an hour into Melee.
I did too. I don't know. Probably just as much as well.
That'd be really fun. Imagine taking Melee on the go too.
That's one of the big things is Melee is still one of the like forefronts as far as competitive Smash goes. I mean, there's entire overhauls for the Wii U version of Smash that just make it work like Melee.
Yeah. Well, Melee, as far as I know, I'm not super big into the competitive side of Smash Brothers, but I think they claim Brawl or Melee to be the best one.
Melee is still on the competitive circuit. Both Brawl and Smash have been taken off because Melee is still the preferred.
No, Smash Wii U actually just had a competition not long ago. I don't know about Brawl.
Brawl
They
was
still
never on
promote
the Brawl was never on the circuit.
Brawl had a lot
Yeah,
of
it was
stuff
brought
where it
in
could be,
just before the Wii U one came out.
was it?
I do know that.
I know Brawl had a lot of stuff where you could kind of break the game using certain combos that couldn't be broken. Or not Brawl. Yeah, Brawl. Brawl had a couple.
Brawl was the broken one.
I always get the names mixed up.
Super Smash Brothers, Melee, Brawl, Smash.
Yeah. Well, that's why is because that last one, Smash, always throws me off because I always want to call it Brawl. I always
Just
want to
call it
throw
Wii
in a
U.
name. But
It's Wii U.
But yeah, being able to take that on the go is just going to be, I mean, it's going to be huge for the people who enjoy the game. I know when I was at UTD, there'd be Wii U version of Smash running on one of the TVs in the common area, and right next to it was Melee version of Smash.
Yeah, I know Melee is still one of the big hitters.
I knew people who actually would bring a CRTV into that area to hook up an original N64 or their GameCube because they didn't have the connectors to make it work with the TVs in there.
Really, a CRT?
It was a big TV.
Yeah, I know. They are. CRTs are massive and heavy.
When you're in college, you're broke. You take what you can get.
Fair enough.
But moving away from Nintendo, was there some stuff that y'all wanted to talk about? I know we've kind of been.
I don't know. You're the one who wanted to talk about ESO.
You did want to talk about ESO?
You did. That's what it,
I mean,
I was trying to give y'all a chance to have one of your things before I go into another of mine.
I already told you guys my crap's gonna come last because you guys are gonna be bored to shit with my stuff.
Okay.
Okay. Elder Scrolls, we all love it. Elder Scrolls Online is getting player homes now that are customizable to an extent we don't know yet. But from the trailer and the information they've shown, there's about 40 to 50 different options as far as the homes go, and then you can upgrade them differently.
So one thing that has caught my attention with that is they've said that all the homes decorated in the trailer were decorated using the in-game tools, not some outside editor.
Yes.
But that makes me wonder, how in-depth is that actual editor, or is it more like Skyrim's Hearthfire DLC where you can get stuff, you can make all this cool stuff, but it's preset where it goes?
I'm expecting it to be like Hearthfire, where there's different variations, but they're presets. Given that it's a massive multiplayer online game.
I know, but I'm just so desperate for being able to customize my home.
It could be. I mean,
It'd probably be the same floor plan, but like, okay, the kitchen's going to be over here, or my kitchen's going to be over here, or my kitchen will be right there, or I'll put blacksmith shops all around the place, or something along those lines. It'll probably all be the same floor plan, just different ways you can move stuff around.
Well, and I'm talking more specifically in the decorations themselves. Like in Skyrim, if you wanted to put a pot, it would just list a pot, and you say, okay, okay. I've died a little in there. I'm so excited about it is why. So you would click on the pot and say, all right, I just hope that goes where I want it to, and then it usually won't. It'll go in some weird corner with a bunch of other stuff. You're like, I didn't want any of that. I just wanted a pot.
Yeah, I don't know yet, because obviously until they show us more, we won't know exactly. I'm expecting it to be like that. However, given the extent they go, if they really go off the deep end and make this something that's supposed to be really personable to your character, they could just throw in where you go into a craft mode like Fallout 4. No one else is allowed to enter your area at that time. You just build, and you invite your friends over. It's possible. I mean, it's...
Well, not even necessarily custom building the homes. because I imagine being, like you said, it's an MMO. They're going to have the preset homes.
Right.
I just hope the decorations inside that can be customized.
I will point out all of the homes that they showed in the trailer are preset models in the game.
Oh, okay.
They're already buildings, like shaped like buildings that are in the game, so I expect that to be true.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it could be where the point, like, you can just move a table wherever you want.
Yeah, that I would want. That would be so cool.
We also didn't see the large homes because they showed small homes and they showed medium homes. But they only showed, like the Nord home, they only showed a medium. They didn't show a large home.
They only showed,
didn't
I
show
think,
a small.
like 6 or 7 homes, and they're supposed to be over 40 based on what I read. So I expect there's going to be a lot of variation in it. I don't know how far this will expand. It's called Homestead, which leads me to think that it's going to be like a plot of land.
Well, it did show some courtyards and things like that. Gardens.
See, I really wish we could show off the video right now.
No, we can't.
Yeah, I don't think we could.
No, we can't get away with that.
Darn you, copyright laws! We would have gotten away with it if it weren't for you and that dog, too.
Speaking of dog.
Yes, I'm going to buy the puppy that they showed off as part of the new Crown Store thing, because I think it's adorable.
You also have an affliction and an addiction and an obsession with anything dog-like.
Dogs are pretty cool. I think
No, his is way beyond anything like that. His is an obsession, especially with wolves or huskies or anything like that.
I do like wolves. I've always... Hey, I won't hide it. It's my favorite animal. I like wolves. You put a wolf in a game, I think it's cool. I'm probably going to get it in the game.
I'm anticipating him getting a wolf tattoo on his ankle here very soon.
No, it'll be a tramp stamp.
It'll be a tramp stamp.
If it's going to be anything.
But no. What's wrong with having something that you enjoy?
No,
Cool.
I have no problem with you liking wolves.
Evolutionarily, the only
Go for
difference
it.
between us and them is we have thumbs. They have a much stronger pack society and group society.
They're also
humans do.
furrier. Well, furrier than most men.
This is true. They have tails.
Yeah, I could do for a tail.
We lost on the evolutionary role there.
Then why aren't they the dominant species on the planet?
Because they don't have
We got
thumbs. Or a sense of self.
Why are we eradicating them across the country and not them us?
Once again,
Dogs?
thumbs.
Wolves.
Oh.
Wolves are like
well,
destroying the ecosystems all up and down Colorado, New Mexico, all those areas.
yeah,
Wyoming,
they're trying to
North-
take it back.
Wyoming, North and South Dakota.
I mean, we say they're destroying the ecosystem that was their ecosystem for millions
Nope,
of years.
wolves were actually introduced to those ecosystems. They were not part of there.
I don't know if that's
The
true.
bunny huggers wanted to put them there to try and save them, and they destroyed the
Oh.
ecosystem.
Okay, I was gonna say, I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure there were wolves in North America before.
Not in those, not in Colorado.
Maybe not in those areas. They weren't native, but never mind.
But I don't know for sure.
We're
I'd
splitting hairs
imagine
here.
they would be in Colorado just given the mountains.
Anyways, back to what we were. The whole reason why I wanted to bring up ESO.
No, dogs, damn it. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I interrupt you? Please continue.
I'm done.
Did you lose your train of thought?
I never had a train of thought.
Choo choo.
What do y'all think about? I don't know how much MMO stuff y'all play. I feel like I'm starting to see a lot more MMOs really trying to emphasize like house building and homes and like a customizable location. World of Warcraft did a whole overhaul where you get your garrison that you can build up there. Before that, they had like a whole farm thing that they started to introduce. WildStar, if memory serves me right, had a big emphasis on you making your place.
I always love when a game lets me build my own home. Gives me a place where I could say, yeah, my character is a part of this world. Here is where he lives. It just helps cement me into that universe.
But what about when you get the GTA syndrome where everyone just goes up to the same building and you have 30 people all trying to get into the same home?
It's a little weird, but they get around it in some cases, like with the high-rise apartments. They get around it because, oh, it's a high-rise. You're all on different floors, different
Well, that's
rooms.
why originally you couldn't buy a house, if memory serves me right. They added them eventually, but it was only apartments at launch.
No, I think, well,
Apartments and garages.
I think they did have a house, but it's like houses you didn't want.
No.
Like it was
Crack house?
one of those, like, yeah, it's like a crack
I
house.
thought they
out by
introduced those
the-
because the complaints were that the apartments were too expensive.
Maybe they did. I don't remember now.
I don't know. Never played GTA.
GTA Online is a fantastic MMO, and I stand that it's an MMO.
I'm not gonna. I don't know.
But I don't know.
It is a fantastic game though.
I just wanted to point out because I find it interesting that it's becoming such a big thing for multiplayer online games to put such an emphasis on a very single player thing. We don't even know if you can invite other players to this. I know in World of Warcraft, I don't think you can have anyone come over to your garrison. It's just your own personal little room.
I think it's because there's this spread of ideas that you want to have a place in that universe. So these big MMOs want to say, yeah, here's your place. We're giving you a chance to kind of set roots down.
So what you're saying is they want to put you in your place.
No, they want to give you a place to be.
Okay.
Because I'm not a pessimistic.
Oh, it'll be exciting.
I had six words cross my mind right there, so you know.
I like ESO. I think it's a cool addition.
I'm excited to start playing ESO, finally. It finally looks like a game I can get behind.
If he ever picks up a copy.
Apparently, I'll be getting a copy very soon.
Yeah,
supposedly.
you can have mine since I have a digital now. Do we want to talk our other MMO?
Well, I don't know. I mean, Fred, were you all done with your stuff?
No. Yeah, I'm good. I was gonna talk about one little thing, but kind of lost my chance to talk about it. It'll be kind of shoehorned in right now. So let's talk Destiny.
All right. So along with the PlayStation, the PSX, PlayStation E3 bullshit, they announced the Dawning, which Skyler did call that they were going to do a holiday event. Which,
I don't recognize that, by the way.
It's Christmas.
Yes, you do.
It's Christmas.
I don't recognize it.
Go enjoy your.
They're not calling it
Christmas,
a Christmas event. It's
the dawn.
a holiday event. Just because we have to be PC.
Well, no, they don't call anything by a holiday name.
They
I
do
mean,
give it all different names just
yeah.
to make it unique to their world. A lot of MMOs do that. I mean.
So, but it's right here, it's the tower all glistened and glimmered up for the Dawning, or whatever you want to call it. It's coinciding with the SRL, which is going to last 3 weeks. How long did it go for last year? Was it 3 weeks as well, or was it only 2 weeks?
I know it was at least 2. I forget if it went for a third.
I
feel like it went for 3 just because I remember it being something that was there for a little while.
So the Dawning is going from the 13th to December 13th to January 3rd. It's 3 weeks. We're getting all new armor sets, as you can kind of see right here. This is one of the new armor sets. New armor, new quests. They're bringing in some old exotics. We know for a fact the Icebreaker is coming back with new ornaments.
Yep, and they're also bringing spins, like new spins on some old exotics, because we're finally getting the Void Thunderlord and the Fire Thunderlord.
Thunderlord is getting a solar and a void burn, and Galahorn is actually also getting an arc and a void burn as well.
I'm just really hoping this isn't as boring and lame as their Halloween thing they did.
Halloween was pretty fun. I mean, we blew through it all really fast.
It's maybe 2.5 hours of gameplay.
But it's
free
free content.
But it's not different content. It's not different content. It was just go do the things you've been doing for 3 years now.
But
now you get to do it with a mask.
What they've said with the Dawning is that they're bringing in, I think, 2 new strikes. They're bringing in new armor, new quests. It's another kind of mini expansion. So they're giving us more content with this one than they did. With the last one. What was it? The Halloween
Festival of the Lost.
Festival of the Lost. There was no real content. I mean, they put in a holiday board. That was it. With the Dawning, they
had new quests. Which only took about 2 hours.
They had some new quest lines. They weren't very long.
But we've got new quest lines here, but we've also got new strikes, we've got weapons, we've got armor coming
I haven't seen anything on new strikes. I know they introduced strike scoring, which is actually something exciting.
Strike.
I like
they
that.
did introduce strike scoring. I did read an article from Deej and Cosmo that there are going to be 2 new strikes. One for PlayStation exclusive and then one for both of us.
Okay. I didn't see anything about that. I thought
that was on the Twitter machine.
Are you sure? Because I thought the only new map-related stuff was for SRL for this one.
No, Deej and Cosmo both tweeted it.
Okay.
It might be because I don't know, because I remember seeing some stuff where people who were trying to data mine and speculate. Supposedly, Omnigul has something going, so it might be like a variation,
kind of like what they did with that ogre on the moon. It might be something like that.
Where now she's white and has snowmen fighting for her or something. I don't know.
But so
that'd be awesome.
But it looks
I'd
like
play
the
that.
Dawning is giving us a lot more content this round than Festival of the Lost did.
Well, it's yet to be seen.
It's a welcome surprise.
Minus the armor and weapons. I mean, we didn't get any of that in Festival of the Lost.
To be fair,
They did call it new weapons when they were talking about the ornaments.
but they've flat out shown new weapons. I mean,
Yeah.
they've already shown.
Yeah, I mean, like, we've got this armor. There's 3 or 4 new armor sets, including this one right here.
Okay.
So, I mean, we've got full-fledged...
Isn't that just the Trials helmet?
No,
that's
that's a full-fledged new armor.
that's reindeer armor for the hunters.
No, that's Warlock.
Oh, is that Warlock?
That's
That is
Warlock.
Warlock. Warlocks get the reindeer stuff.
Oh, it looks like the Batman helmet cat helmet from Trials for hunters.
So, yeah, we're getting a whole bunch of new stuff. You also have to remember this is free content.
Well, somewhat. I mean,
for the 100 and however many dollars I've spent in this game.
and all the people who buy microtransactions because that was how they were going to fund all.
But that's the thing. I mean, we're not having to buy $15 expansions in March. We're getting everything else for this game that they're adding on to it. We're getting it already.
Don't get me wrong, I'm happy to see it. However, I do feel like I have to bring it up just because we're talking MMOs. Every year, World of Warcraft, which is the king daddy of all MMOs still, has numerous holiday events, and pretty much every year they add new stuff to it. You don't have to buy the DLC. It's not a part of the DLC. It's just part of the fact that that holiday has come up, and it's time for that holiday event.
You're also paying a monthly fee to play that game.
That is a fair point.
You're not paying a monthly fee to play Destiny. You just have to pay for Xbox Live or PSN, but that goes to Microsoft and Sony. That has nothing to do with Destiny.
That's a fair point.
If Destiny were pay to play per month, yeah, they could do crap like that because they'd have more income coming. But if people aren't doing microtransactions like the two of you, I mean...
Like the two of us, he spent, what, $100 or something?
No.
You spent a significant amount of money
trying to get that goddamn wolf helmet. Wolf mask.
I spent about $20 because I got a bit of extra money from an event I did.
How much total did you spend? If I were
you don't have to say
$40 on
total.
silver, and I still have half of that left.
So you spent $40. You still spent $40.
But only $20 to get the wolf mask.
You only used $20 of it, but
and
you
also I got all the other cool
$40.
stuff along with it.
So...
Because it's a thing I hate and something that I did give into just for the fun of it, but I do not like random box loot.
I hate that stuff. And
I hated that the Festival of the Lost put so much behind it, which is what I like about the Dawning, is that every day per character, you get one free package.
Yeah, they definitely seem to have learned. It's if you want to spend the money to ensure you get it right off the bat, or it also gives the trade-off of if you get to the end of the event and there's still something that you've yet to get that you really want, you can throw a few bucks to try and get one last hoorah. I know for me, why I wound up putting so much effort into that stupid wolf mask is I still regret that in the first time that the Festival of Lost came up, they had like a flaming skull.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get it anymore. And I'm annoyed just because I never got it. Out of all the free glimmer or all the free silver that they gave to players for various reasons, I used a bunch of it trying to get that mask. Never got it. So it was one of those things where I'm like, I'm going to get this one. Now, granted, their model worked because it suckered me into it.
But then who's to blame for that? You or them?
well, there's no one to blame.
They're the one who developed the model.
No, it's been a long-standing model for a lot of things.
Hate the game, not the player.
I'm really worried that, and this actually just made me consider this, maybe this armor is just the cosmetic kind. You know, the ones that drop at 3 light.
Sure.
That just look pretty.
But
And maybe that's going to be tied to the loot boxes as well. I worry about that kind of stuff.
But, I mean, look at the Spectar gear that they put out with the April update for Taken King. A lot of people liked that shit.
And that came out at 3 light. I mean, it all depends. If it's 3 light and it's only 3 light, I imagine it's going to be like the SRL gear from last year where it comes out, it might be a low light level, but you can infuse it to be whatever you want.
Yeah.
I'm just afraid that because being the decorative item that it would be if it was that 3 light, they're going to tie it to the loot boxes that you have to pay for. Or that you get the one of a day, I guess. But that would be a little annoying.
There's also, you have the SRL book coming out, but I think they also said they're adding a few more things for the it's not just an SRL book. I think it's a Dawning book.
Oh, okay. Well,
Or they're going to have 2 separate books for the Dawning, and because this is a 3-week event. So
It's possible. I mean, apparently in the world of Destiny, NASCAR is a Christmas event, so I can see them combining it. For Santa boards his sparrow.
I am excited for the SRL, and I know Fred is too. I missed it last year, which
For-
I regret.
It's
for
a lot
all
of
of my skepticism, I am very excited for SRL. It's something that I love to do. I love going fast on my little Star Wars knockoff speeder bike, and it's so much fun.
Well,
and
it
I
was
don't
something
get to do it. I haven't gotten to do it yet.
Well, that was the funny thing is the whole reason SRL became a thing is because people were already doing it. I remember in year 1, they made a big deal because someone hosted the first annual Mars Sparrow Racing League, did up a poster, streamed it, and it was just him and people on Mars going in a circle with no actual track. So then they're like, well, people are already doing it. Let's just make that content and we'll call it a day.
Yeah.
And they
Well-
created 2 tracks, but from what I've also heard, they're doing the 2 tracks from last year plus 2 new tracks this year. So we're getting all 4 tracks.
I'll just be happy to have more than 2 tracks. That was the one bad thing is Sparrow Racing League lasted more than a week, but you experienced all the content for it in a day.
Yeah, for all my skepticism, I am excited to see what comes of this. I think it'd be a cool little, if anything, it's just a cool little celebration for the holiday season.
And even if they keep putting out more small stuff like this, even if this turns out to be small, if they can just keep delivering that, it is exactly what they need to do because Dead Rising's come out. We're at the tail end of all the holiday releases. And what game are we talking about? The one that came out at the beginning. Rise of Iron came out like before everything else.
Yeah, it came out in September.
But I mean, we're still talking about it, even though we have all these other games that we've been talking about in between.
Yeah, but when was the last time we talked about it?
He's got a point. We kind of we've all stopped playing.
We've all hit a
Destiny
dead stop with it, and
I see each one of us on Destiny at least once a week. And if they can do that for the next, 40 weeks before the next Destiny's supposed to come out? 30 to 40 weeks?
Well, I know
they're doing a good job.
I know for a fact Fred and I are going to be playing in February for Crimson Days.
yeah, depending on how they do that again. Hopefully it's the same style. I liked what
Team
they did
double.
last time.
That was a lot of fun playing team doubles.
Maybe
That's
they'll make
how
it
the
a third
holidays
person,
thing
so
should
I
go.
can join y'all.
No, it's team doubles. He's my partner. I've already called him.
I need to find a friend.
You have
You
William.
need to find a friend. I need a friend.
William's not my friend. He's your brother.
Well, fine. Fuck you. See if he ever invites you to anything.
He never does anyway.
He never
know.
does, yeah.
He's an
The only
asshole.
time I play with William is if you're on and you invite him to the party.
That's the only time I play with him.
For some
sucks.
fucking reason, the other group, he was playing with them last night. I texted him, I was like, hey, come play with me. He's like, I'm playing with them right now. I was like, you little bastard.
Danny.
You're being a little bastard.
He's
about
the
it.
new better you.
Apparently, fucker.
You're being replaced.
I got replaced.
Uh,
I'm calling a boycott.
Should we see how he does doing the callouts for the Vosix fight?
Oh, yes. We'll let him call out the rooms. How about that?
We're just messing with you, Steve.
Okay. So, the other big thing I kind of wanted to jump into,
Kind of quickly. We are
kind of quickly,
running a little later.
Pokemon. I did watch the new Pokemon Volcanion and the Mechanical Marvel.
Magira bitch, right.
Yeah, sure. It was entertaining. It's a lot better than the last 2 or 3 that they've done, surprisingly. I don't know if it's because I've watched more of the series or what, but this one was actually a lot better. But I'm kind of grazing over that because what I've got shown here, these are episodes from one of the latest episodes of the X and Y series. It's one of the last episodes that they've come up with for X and Y. So X and Y, for the most part, is almost done. There are 2 or 3 episodes till that series is done. And now they've actually started airing the Alola stuff, Sun and Moon, on Disney XD. The art style is substantially different between the two, and I hate it. It's like the people who did the Digimon movie came back and did the art style for this. It's so much more cartoony. You like if you look at his hair here compared to his hair over here, it's hang on, let me see if I can find a better episode that's brighter.
No. In fact,
Actually, that was a perfect comparison.
That was a perfect comparison. So that, again, me and all my Pokemon knowledge, but just looking at this, the tone is extremely different. This shows a very serious tone. You can see he's very angry. A lot of dark colors. Everything has a purplish tint for some reason, but everything is a darker tone.
It's
and
just what's going on.
even scroll back up, you can see there's a sunset involved, a very detailed city, a lot of browns, a lot of kind of dark colors. Then you go to the Alola.
Yep, hang on. There we go. We'll go there.
Look at how bright that is.
Bright and colorful, and it's just the art style of everything. And
Well, it's intentional. I think they're trying to go back towards the childish crowd.
but it's,
they've always catered to.
If you look at his face, and I mean, looking at his hair and everything, his hair looks like it's just one big blob on his head.
It's rounder, and I will say,
whereas
that is kind of, not having watched it since I was a kid, watching like season 1, the spiky hair is a
but I mean, and then
iconic feature of that character.
and then you come over here and look at like Serena's hair from episode 1. It's just the art style changed, and I don't know how I feel about it yet.
I think it's actually a very clever move on their part.
It's clever, but even comparing it to the very first episode of Pokemon in general,
Well, it's evolved a lot over the years.
so it's just the art style. It's like it's a lot more rounded, a lot more bubbly, a lot more
Childish.
childish. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot brighter, which I mean, it does reflect its region.
Yeah, see,
the
here we
region that the game and this season are based on, it fits with the game. I can say that much.
Just remind anybody else of Fred.
Of me?
Hug me.
I guess.
Look, right there.
I was gonna say it reminds me more of you.
Starts karate.
No, I actually, it's interesting you brought that up because thematically, from what y'all have talked about Pokemon Sun and Moon, it's a lot more childish, a lot more, I don't even know, I guess childish is the right word.
Kid, like,
Or it's focused towards the kids, not towards
Young
who they
adults.
know is their crowd.
so is his
at
hair
this
going to
point.
slightly start getting spikier as they start moving
But see,
closer
it
and
also,
closer to the child abuse?
That's what I'm. Yeah, I mean, look at it. It's his hair's getting flatter. It's shorter. He definitely looks younger. He doesn't look like the mature Ash that the 20-year-old, 10-year-old.
I will say it. He definitely does look younger. That was something I noticed a lot of people
So-
complaining is he's now aging. He's not only not aging, he's aging backwards now.
Yeah, I think that fits the tone of the story y'all have told me about and the pictures I'm seeing here. It seems like it fits that. Whereas this is a much more detailed, intricate looking.
Here we go. Here's a great side-by-side. So there's him, season 1 of the Kalos series, X and Y. The very first episode. And then we come back over here, and here's a picture of him, episode 1.
Why does Pikachu look like a pervert now?
Because Pikachu's got a fucking attitude. He's got, like, series 1 attitude in this stuff. He's a mouthy little bastard.
This is actually looking
Those
at
two,
this.
the picture and the picture under it do not look well together.
Here we go. Let's do a...
It looks like she's screaming because of Pikachu.
Looks like she's screaming rape.
Right, there we go.
See, the child abuse. It's in the series as well.
Here we go. So yeah, here's more of a... God damn it. There we go. Okay, so there's a better side-by-side of the ashes. I mean, his hair's a little bit more spiky. It's got more detail. I feel like everything's just character-wise. They've got a little bit more detail into everything. Whereas over here, it's just a little bit more smooth and rounded. And
It's actually more towards towards other animes, other popular animes.
sure.
Do you think it might be them maybe moving more in favor of their Japanese audience, or more so just trying to reinvent the character so that people joining into the series now have
From
something
what
new
Fred
to
just
identify
pointed
with?
out, I think I'm going to go with the Japanese. The Japanese audience.
I mean, Pikachu got a lot pervier, which fits.
They also went
All
more.
right,
They also went more rounded. I mean, just in general, Pikachu's character is a little bit more rounded, roly poly, like he was in the very first gen.
No, nowhere near like he was in the first one.
Well, not necessarily, but he's getting there. He's putting on some Pika pounds.
Well, don't they only feed him muffins? Like muffins and cupcakes? I think you'd start to put on some weight there.
See, but like something like this, you would have never seen artwork and designs like that.
That's very
No, but you would
anime
see it
trope-ish.
in Yeah, most other large anime series, especially shonen series, you see a lot
Yeah.
of that kind of animation.
But see, I'd never seen that until I watched this, and I was like, all right, this is an interesting take.
You've never seen that?
Not in a Pokemon.
Oh, in Pokemon. I thought you
That's
meant in
the
general.
whole, no, I've seen it in other animes and stuff, but I've never seen that kind of. I've seen that face, but I've never seen that in Pokemon, and I'm curious to see the art style going from here forward.
I wonder if they actually went to this style because it's easier to animate. I wonder if there's some kind of logistical reason behind it as well.
Maybe.
The main thing I'm wondering is, I mean, old school anime doesn't tend to have a lot of that style stuff in it. Like the older anime, it was much more serious, kind of like Pokemon.
Yeah.
I almost wonder if you said they're still wrapping up X and Y.
Yeah, X and Y has a handful of episodes left in their series.
I wonder if this is more so like the tone of the new generation of animators coming and taking over the series from the old, and this is the direction that this new group is pushing it in. Because if they're doing both at the same time, it's probably two separate teams. I'd imagine. I don't know how.
Oh, it
anime
is. I've
developed,
actually
but-
looked into it. The animators that did the Digimon movies, both the first one and the second one, they're the ones who are actually leading this team. Which is why we're seeing a lot of the similar art styles. And when you're actually watching the show, you can see similar art and similar design going in transitions and stuff. It's kind of interesting to see how they're doing it.
I think it's just the evolution. I mean, just like Ash has changed a lot from watching the first season of the show.
I can respect what Steve's saying, though. This is less like an evolution of the show and more like just they started a completely different show, almost, with the same characters and same name.
Because also in the past, they explain why he goes from region to region. Like, he's following the first gym leader's older sister. She was a photographer in Unova. That's how he ended up in Kalos. He was just kind of following her, hanging out with her. In this one, it's just, we're going on a vacation. That's it.
Then that's the reason. I mean, that's as much a reason as I'm going to follow a random photographer around the country.
Well,
I guess. I don't know. I would more so say I'd compare it to imagine if Futurama just suddenly was animated like The Simpsons. Same characters, same plot, just now they're The Simpsons.
You do realize it's the same person, right?
Yeah, except in one series, everyone is yellow. In another, they all look somewhat realistic.
Oh, so you're changing the...
season 7, they did that.
As a joke, they did, didn't they?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not like they just changed the entire series to now be like The Simpsons.
And there was more than just the yellow people. Okay, there was one brown guy. His name was Abu. And there was a black cop.
Krusty was white, pale white.
Now
Until
y'all
you
are
took off
losing
his
me.
makeup.
Krusty the Clown.
So that was my things with Pokemon, because I watched the Volcanion movie, which was in this style, and then I went and watched the first 2 episodes that were dubbed.
I can see how it'd be jarring, but I think
So-
it's just the evolution of...
So I'm sure the more that I
Animation.
watch of Sun and Moon, the more I'll get used to it. It was interesting to see the art style change, and then the art directors and everybody who came over from the competition program was
in
jumping
the
on
competition program that hasn't been on air for like 10 years.
false. They've actually got several Digimon shows running right now.
I know they did Digimon Try for a little bit, and that's already ended.
I guess you could say they tried to bring it back.
Oh my god, if he's going to start with the puns, we got to cut.
You know what? We're ending it there.
I mean, we are an hour and a half in.
We are an hour and a half in.
I
Thank you
gotta
all.
find something to end this with.
Thank you all for watching. We got to shit on a lot of things today, and it makes me feel a lot better. See us next week.
See you when we see ya.
Bye.